Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Aishat Agbolwaje, and the reason I want to learn product design is I want to be able to understand people better in terms of what they need and prefer solutions to them through product design. Thank you.
Okay, very nice reason. All right, so next person, Aisha. Okay, Aisha first. So just know that I'll be calling your name also. I'm trying to familiarize with your person too. So should I call the next person? I can see Abiodun on my screen. Abiodun. Okay, let me leave Voila. Let me just call Abiodun Likon, yeah.
So my name is Abiodun, and I want to be a product designer because I've got passion for tech basically, and I really want to know what it entails.
Okay, nice, Abiodun. So the next person, I really don't need to start calling names. Just unmute and let's do this as fast as possible.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Esther.
Good morning, Esther.
The major reason I opted in for product design is because of the passion, number one. And we all know tech is a fast growing career. So I want to advance in the world as it is advancing.
Okay, nice. Fola Shadi.
Good morning.
Mm.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Fola Shadi. Yeah, good morning. I can hear you.
My name is Folashade Barungoye. Actually, I'm into designing already, graphics designing, but I want to venture into product designing because I want to know more about the user's interface. And I love the pictures whereby when you design on the system, you get to see the way to be on the mobile and the interaction between the user and the producer. So I just want to venture more into it and know more about it.
Okay. And so it's going to be easy, Sha. Let me know. It's going to be easy. All right, next person. Guys, let's talk so that your classmates will also know. You know that we'll
My
be meeting
name is,
physically.
good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Alfalo Poloa. Okay, so why I chose product design is because it's something I've always been interested in and always wanted to pursue. So yes, like someone else said, like that's always been my passion to know product design, UI, UX. So yeah, that's it.
All right, nice.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning. My name is Nomi Ginika, and I work for a tech company as a telesales person. So, but my contract just ended with them. But while I was there, I see a product designer, and I loved what they do, and I picked some interest, and I'd love to know more about UI UX.
Okay, nice.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Martin. I've always wanted to go into the tech world. So yeah, and I thought product design is the best to actually start with. So yeah, that's why I picked product design. I also have interest in seeing how the interfaces work, how the prototyping and other stuff work. So and how apps and websites actually do come to life again. So yeah. So basically that's what drives me.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, next person, Shegun.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Oluwasegun Ibukun. Yes, for me, 4 years back, a friend of mine had always advised me to take up product design class because I was really good with graphic design then, but I didn't see it as something that was important, not until when I started seeing opportunities around product design. And then I decided to check up for this class when I saw the opportunity. So I'm hoping that I'll learn fast and prepare myself for the industry out there.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, next. Oh, are we not talking again? Okay, Amanda.
So I want to learn product design because I'm very interested in design, but I'm always been critical about user experience. That's something I'm
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Adekiton Oladipupo.
Okay,
The reason
Ola.
why I want to go into product design is basically because it's something that I have passion for, and I also want to know the reason why people are actually they into how people interact with their product, basically UI UX. So that's one of the reasons why I actually want to venture into it.
Okay,
Thank you.
valid reason. I'm sure loving everybody's reason. So who have not spoken? Juan, Hassan, you've not.
Good morning. Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning. Yeah, good morning, Juan.
Yeah, my name is Oluwajo Abdul Hamid. To be very honest, my curiosity got me here. I just want to explore the field.
Okay, nice. All right, so
I've subsequently pursued.
all right, thank you, Juan. Is anybody still saying anything, or we should just wrap it up here?
Good morning, I'm Oladimeji.
Yeah, good morning, Dimeji.
Yeah, I'm a web developer, front-end web developer, and most of the product design guys I've been working with have not been able to give me a kind of
What you
design
want?
impress me. Yeah, so I want to learn a product design so that I can be able to create my own design and code it.
Okay, nice. Okay, so I've heard, I think, virtually everybody, apart from the few persons that have not spoken. First of all, you guys have nice intention. But I don't hear anybody that said I'm here because of money. You see that nobody is here because of money. That money is actually very valid money.
I was about saying that too.
Okay. Yeah, thank God we have someone that is here because of money. So very valid reasons why some of you are here to upskill, some are here because of the money, some are here because of the passion. So for any reason why you're here, right, it's valid. But you know why I had to ask this question? It's because I don't want a situation where some of you are here because you feel like it's easy. So I've come across so many persons that once you ask them why are you in product design, the first thing they tell you it's easy. Unlike the other tech skills, unlike coding, although we have other non-tech skills, but unlike coding, it's looking like product design is easy. Now, yeah, it's not very difficult, but it's not even as easy as we look at it. So the last person that spoke, he said the other people, they are not giving him the kind of design he wants. And that's because he has something in his head that he wants. So if you think that it's easy, man, this class is not for you, right? It's not, because product design is not easy. So a quick one for me, when I started product design, right, it was something that product design was not, I did not even know what product design was. It was not part of the skills I wanted to learn. So I started trying to learn tech from the uni. I think when I was in 200 level or so, 100 level, I could operate computer very well at that time. So there was a drive. People were like, you need to do engineering, you need to read computer science, you need to do all of these things because of how good I was with computers. But I did not want to study all of that. I wanted to do medicine, and along the line I got into biology. So I was doing biology. You can see that it's not even related at all to tech. But one way or the other, I found myself looking out for people that would teach me tech. Firstly, I had to pay someone to teach me graphics. At the same time, I paid someone to teach me web development. So I was doing the two at the same time. Product design was not part of it. As at then, I don't even think that product design was like this. Now, you know that almost everybody knows where you put up. Almost everybody. Some persons still don't know. Along the line, I had to drop all of those passion, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to go into the entertainment industry. I want to do photography and videography." And that's how I entered that particular. I entered videography and photography. It took COVID-19 for me to realize that I actually needed a skill. I went to animation at some point. I actually needed a skill and not this jumping I was doing. So I know that some persons, yeah, while curiosity is part of it, you just want to do so many things at the same time. That was another thing I was doing. I tried to do so many things at the same time. So persons will learn product design now, and tomorrow they would stop product design. They will dive into another thing. Why that is good? I think this is the highest the number of years I've stayed on a particular thing. And then I saw a class like this. It was graphics, and I joined. I joined to learn graphics. And the first day they taught product design, I was like, oh, I think this is what I want to do. It's okay if you don't have anything that is pushing you to want to do it. I did not have any motivation to do product design. It was just I came across it in one of the class, and that was how I started it. But one thing I'll tell you is the journey is sweet. It's something that if you do it and do it well, you'll be proud that you'll be proud. You'll be so proud of yourself that you're doing something. I like the word that we've been using since. I want to understand people, and I want to give them a solution. So product design is problem solving. It is you solution oriented. You're trying to understand people so that you can provide solution to them. So nice meeting everybody. I don't think this is a full class, but either ways, it's actually nice meeting us. We're going to have, I hope we're going to have a very interesting 4 weeks. We are family now, so just take it like that. We are family now. We learn from each other, and we ensure that I'll try as much as I can. I'll try my best to also ensure that I carry everybody along. So if you're here and you've done it one way or the other, and you're expecting to see something fast, and then we are slowing you down, we are sorry. We are apologizing before time. But then we would follow the pace where we would all, at the end of these 4 weeks, would all be proud, we'll all be happy that we actually made this decision. So enough of this tech talk. Let's get into it. So all right. Can you see my screen? Let me be sure that you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's allow it to load. So while it's loading, there are different courses I get to open at the same time. So while it's loading, right, let's dive into product design. Now the word is product design, but in between product design, I'm very sure that some persons have seen things like UI UX, or you've heard the word UI UX and you're wondering what's the difference between product design and UI UX. So we'll just start with I think this is my network and I need to just give me a few minutes. Let me switch. All right, so we'll get to start with how I'm sure that during the interview they might have already explained to us how we are going to do this. So this is just my way of telling you that this is how we are going to run this class. Now we'll get to talk about the fundamentals, that is basic. We'll talk about the fundamentals, then we'll get to the intensive part of it, and then we'll get to do different, we'll get to design different things in between, and we'll get to ensure that we build a portfolio. It might not be a very full portfolio, but a portfolio that can get you a job, at least an internship role. And then know that there's also a capstone project at the end of the day. You get to learn with, or you get to actually interact with different people. You come together, form a team for you to come up with a solution. So just put that in your mind, because it's very mandatory for you to graduate from this particular program. You need to work with people, and in the real world, like I said, you would always work with people. I think I've already mentioned it here. We learn from ourselves, so there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. No right answer, no wrong answer. So if for at any point where there's a question and you would need me to, or where there's a question and I want you to answer that question, you should not be shy that they will laugh at you. Nobody's going to laugh at you in this class. We are all going to learn, because UI UX product design can be tricky at some point. I can decide to put something somewhere, and because I have a reason for it, it can be valid, or because your users want it, it's actually going to be very valid. Now, the next thing is you need to look out for your own resources. While I'm going to be sending resources, YouTube is your friend. You can go on. So there's a platform that you can go on YouTube. If you go on Figma websites, Figma on YouTube, you learn a lot. Now, I know that we'll be learning Figma. That doesn't mean that Figma is only tool for UI UX. We have XD, we have Sketch, we have others, right? But the reason why we are using Figma is because Figma is accessible. It's very accessible. It has a free and the paid version. With the free version, you can become a good UI UX designer. You don't really need the paid version. But there's also an education version where you can apply as a student. When I mean student, because you're doing this bootcamp, or because you're in this bootcamp, you can actually apply to Figma for them to give you the paid version for free. So what you need to do is, for that, you can go to Figma for Education and apply for it. But know that we are using Figma. So first, how many persons have Figma account? You've opened Figma before. Just raise your hand. You can just use okay, Ibukun, Esther. Right, so 4, 5, 6. So we all know Figma 7. Okay. So that means we have 9 persons that already know. So the remaining set of people, right? If you've not, thank you guys. So if you've not opened Figma, it's very easy. This is how to Figma. You just need to go through. So for me, I would use Figma registration. So the reason why I'm doing Figma, why I'm using this is if I go straight to it, it's going to log me in because I already have an account. So this is the website. This is the site where you need to go to. Copy it and let me just paste it on the chat. So you can go to that site and create an account. So it's on the website or it's on the chat. So if you've not created Figma account before, you need to go. Figma has so many advantages. With Figma, you can actually do your designs with so many persons without thinking of. So I started off with Adobe XD, just like Photoshop. Now its limitation is if you want to send your design to different people, you might not be able to do that because you might not be able to do that because the person has to have a laptop that has same specification, and the person has to have the app on his or her phone before you can easily use it. But Figma, I can forget my laptop. There was a time that my laptop was having issues, right? And I had different jobs to do. Now it was so easy for me because I just needed my username and my password, and I could log into anybody's laptop and I'll get my file back. So even if it's I decide to use the person's Figma account, you just need to share the link with me and make me an editor. I'll continue. So it's not limiting me to laptop specification. It's not also limiting me to having the app. You must have the app on your laptop. So anywhere you are, you can be on the road. Now you can also use your phones to do some things. If you're this type that can use phone to work, there are some people that use their iPad for the whole class. As far as your iPad has keyboard and you can connect it to a mouse, to a wireless mouse or anything you feel, you can use it for the design process. So to sign up, you just need to visit the website, click on sign up, then put in your email address that you want to use, then create a password, and then you've signed up. You can also use, like I said, you can also go on YouTube to get resources on your own from Figma. So this is their YouTube channel. So these are the first things. Now the next thing you need to note is you can arrange your work, organize your work. Now, when I mean organize your work, you need to be accountable for yourself these 4 weeks. So for anything you're learning, you can decide to get a design journal. So for some people, the recommended one is a product design, is Notion, right? You can use Notion as your journal. So what that is going to do is it's going to give you it's going to help you gather resources. So while you're learning, you're documenting it. Unlike notebook, if you forget your notebook somewhere, that's the end. But if you have a Notion board where you can be putting all your journey, you can just be typing everything you're learning, putting your resources into it. It's going to help you. It's going to really help you. So let me see if I can copy this template and share with you guys, but I doubt it's shareable. So, but then even if it's not shareable, you can actually do it yourself. Now, this is my own notes. This is my own notes. Come anytime, I would still get it. So now that we are done with this, now what is UI? What is UX? So UI, just like the word UI, it refers to the visual and interactive element of a digital product. So not just a digital product. So let me just say the visual element of a product. That is what a UI is. Then when we talk about UX, right, we're talking about the total experience that a user will have when engaging with your products, such as his emotions, his sense of contentment or dissatisfaction. Now, one thing you need to note is when we talk about experience, right, we have different types of experience. It can be a very bad experience. It can also be a very good experience. Either ways, user experience is the total experience or the emotions a person would feel when interacting with your platform. Now let's picture this, right? This is like a question I want to ask. I just want a girl, I say girl, a man and a woman, a lady and a guy to be able to reply. If you see for a guy, if you see a lady walking in, what's the first thing you look at? So anybody can answer. What's the first thing that you notice when you see a lady walking into the room?
Okay.
The
Come on, guys.
receptionist or the customer support care person.
Oh, okay. So Oladimeji, what do you notice first when you nice one Ginika? What do you notice when a girl walks into a room? Okay,
I think the first thing I notice is, first of all attention will be on her first. And
okay.
secondly, okay, her appearance, the way she dressed, that's the first thing.
Exactly. So if a lady should walk into the room, the first thing you're looking at is this person's physical appearance. That's what almost every guy will look at. And me as a lady, right? If a guy is walking into the room, the first thing I also notice is his appearance. Now, from the appearance, how this person is looking, you can look at the person's clothes, you can look at the person's shoes, you can look at the bag this person is carrying. Hello, sorry guys, sorry for that breaking transmission. Oh, please host, are you here? Okay, so Abiodun, please, as I left, the system made you host. Can you just transfer ownership to me so that I can continue the class?
Okay, ma. Let me see if I can do that. I'm sorry, I'm coming.
Okay, so you just need to click on where you can see more on my name. As you click on more, you can just see make host, transfer host.
Sorry, I'm trying to. You said I should click on more, right?
So just come to my name, yes, and click on more. You'd see.
Okay. Trying to click the more. I'm trying to click on your name now, but then.
Okay.
Okay.
You've seen it, right?
Yes. Make host. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so like I was saying before I left the meeting, if someone is coming into the hall or a lady, be it a lady or a guy, for ladies, the first thing we notice is maybe the person's hair. We look at the person's wig or any of such. For a guy too, you look at this person's appearance. Now, the thing is, with what you've seen so far, you can't judge that person. You can't tell if this person is a good fellow or a bad fellow. What you're saying is the appearance. What you'll be appreciating is God's work on this person. Oh, this person is fine. This person has a fine wig. This person has a fine shape. This person has a fine physique. These are like the things you first of all notice. But then when this person moves closer to you and maybe you say hi, and the person just don't look at you, then give you this kind of bad eye kind of look, and then just ease and move on. See, as we are humans, the next day, if you see this, even if you see this person on the road, you would not. Sometimes it can get as fast. This person is in need. You would not want to help this person because the experience is bad, or the experience with that person was bad. So if you're able to understand that UI means this person's physical appearance, anything you can look at when someone is coming into the room, that's what UI is. The element, the visual thing, what you can see. Then when you talk about UX, it's the total experience, the experience you get from this person, be it bad or good. Now note that UI can also be fine or good. UX can also be good or bad. But what we are trying to do in the space of this class, or what we are trying to achieve with the goal, is to ensure that everything you're giving to your users is actually very good. Are we together? Do we not understand the concept of UI and UX?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's now move further. Now, while we have UX and we have UI, now these rules are actually different. We have rules as, okay, now there are different terms you actually come across in the course of this study. You hear things like UX design, you hear things like UX research, you hear things like visual design, information architecture. So all of these terms, right, are terms that you would get to learn in the process of doing this. Now we've already explained what UX is and all of that. So before we go further, we would come back to now know the core components or skills of a UX designer. But before then, now let's talk about who a UX designer is. Now we've heard the word UX is, it has to do with the total experience of a product. So that means automatically a UX designer is someone that is concerned with the overall feel of a product. What your work is you are this person that is trying to use different approaches to solve a problem of a user. So that's what that's who a UX designer is. A UX designer is someone that is concerned with how this product feels. Now it can be that it might not be, when we talk about product, right? Don't just think that it's more of it's digital product. So there's this story that they usually tell, right, when we talk about product design. Now in the past, before, you know that in Nigeria, right? Before we use what's it called? Clay, for instance. I'm sorry, I need to put it. Okay. So can you guys see me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you guys see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, of course.
Hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Nice. I had to remove my headset, man. It was aching my ear. So before, in the past, during, or should I say, in the olden days, I did not meet that particular time, but I know that they said they were using clay to make their pots, their plates. So not pots, sorry, their cups, their plates. Sometimes you go to people's house, you see people's houses, you see clay pots and clay cups that they used to take water and all of that. Now, before, that was what they were using, but recent invention came out. People started using ceramics to do all of those things. So now let's take a look at breakable cups without handles. So let's see these breakable cups without handles. Now let's use this. I'm looking for a picture that has both. So this picture has both. So let's use this. Let me open imagining tab. Oh, it's small. But we can get the gist, right? This is a cup without handle. This is a cup with handle. Now, there's a story that have been coming up. So they said in the past, people were the producers of this thing decided, right, that they were going to produce a cup, and what they produced first was this type of cup with that handles. Now it was fine. They had different designs of it. It was fine. People started rushing to the market to get it because it was something that they were not used to. They were used to clay pots, clay this, and then they are saying something different. The rich started buying it. People that had the money at that point started buying it. But something happened. After the first set of people bought this particular cup, people refused to buy them again. They had a lot of complaints, and I don't know who can guess the complaints that they had regarding this cup with that handle.
It was
guess
maybe it breaks easily because it doesn't have a handle, especially when they use it with probably hot items.
Exactly. So aside the fact that it breaks easily, it was giving them injury in the sense that you put hot water, you want to take tea, and because this is ceramic, once you hold it, it will be very hot, and reflex action. Once you hold something that is hot, it just falls from your hand, and the hot water would splash on you, or it would fall on your leg, and people were having injuries just because of this cup. Now, before the creation of this, there was no product designer, there was no UI person, so it was just invention. We could do this and all of that, and then they had to bring in the product designer into it, or should I say, let me leave the product designer now. Let's say they had someone that was producing it, so apparently they had a UI designer. So they had to bring in a UX person. And one of the things this UX person did was to communicate with these people, to know their pain point, what happened, or why are they not buying again. Now, through this process, that was when they found out that it was because it was injuring most of them. They were not happy using it. First, it was they were spending money because after you buy it and it falls on the floor, it breaks, you've actually lost that money. And that was how they did their redesign and came up with the ones with handle. So it was same thing with stainless cups then. You know how stainless cup can carry heat and it will be so hot. And that's how they now started changing the design. Now for the ones that they still had to keep this design, now there's something they were doing, which is doing like a cup. Can you see this? Doing like a plate underneath it. So you can carry it with a plate and then keep it for a while once it's cold. All of those things, these are different inventions. Even with the handle, sometimes it gets hot and you can also use the plate. So in essence, what am I saying? As a UX designer, you're concerned with how people are feeling when they use your product. You're concerned, you're using different approach to solve it. And one of the ways you can always do it is to conduct research and observe people. You also need to observe their behavior. You also need to identify their pain points and then refine what you have to ensure that you create the best experience for them. Sometimes most of us, we are UX designers, but we don't even know. Let's say, for instance, if you have a restaurant, for instance, where you sell food, and you have your workers with you, I know that's one of the things that you do when you employ a new person is giving this person orientation to say, you don't talk to my customers like this, you don't talk to them like this. Customers are always right. If someone should walk into this place in 2 minutes, you should not even allow the person to sit down when you go. That's what the orientation that they give to waitresses, that you see that once you enter into a restaurant, once you sit down for like 2 minutes, they come to meet you. Some people will not even allow you sit down, they're already following you. And that's because they want you to have good experience so that you can come back again. So that's what a UX designer is concerned with. That is your job. You're just concerned with giving people the best experience of their life so that they can come back over and over again. Now, if we take it back to our human example, you get to understand that as humans, right, we are attracted to people with good character. We are attracted to people that are fine, one, but what is going to keep a relationship is this person's character. I've seen people network with people, From this class, right, I've seen from DigiGap, this is 4.0. So that means we've done 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. I've seen people that met during this DigiGap and they are still maintaining that relationship, that work relationship, or anyone you can call it. And that's because the people they met had, or they have good character and not just this person's physical appearance, all of that. That's why you see people. So this is like the trend, right? I don't know if you guys follow gist, but I follow gist a lot. So sometimes we'll bring gist into our class. So if you follow if you're on Instagram or you're on Twitter or you're on any of these social media platforms, right? You notice that there are some Kiss Daniel, or if you know Kiss Daniel, you know that he recently showed us his wife online after several years. And if you go under the comment section, you will laugh. People are saying all sort of things that as a celebrity, this person is not as people have should I what should I which word should I use? People have this mindset or the mentality like that they know what you want or they can suggest what you should do. And looking at him as a celebrity, they were looking for a Cardi B kind of wife for him. And then he went to shock them to now bring how would I put it, the minimal kind of lady. So they are not few Nigerians or the Nigerians that have that kind of time, they are not happy with his decision. But on one of his tweets, he said something that he has peace of mind, that he has peace of mind in his house and nobody can match up to that. That he has everything he's looking for. And now that brings us to when I learn, when I see all of these things, I just bring it down to relate with my career. And that's just the truth, right? While UI can make people download your app, UI can make people sign up on your platform. But what is going to keep them long term is the experience that they get from you. So it's normal with all of us humans. We get good experience, we make that relationship last. But if we perceive toxic traits, bad experience, we start to push. So what are the deliverables of a UX person? What are we expecting you to do? We're expecting you to consult with clients to understand their goal. This is what you would always do. You would always consult with clients. As someone is coming to meet you, right? We call those persons clients. It can be a full-time job where you have a boss that is telling you, okay, this is what we want to build. This is you get to understand their goals. What is it that they want to achieve with what the project they are going up with? And then the next thing you do is after consulting with clients, right? You get to conduct research. That means you get to now go out to the field to meet these people that will be using your platform or that will be using the whole that will make you achieve your goals. You got to meet them and get to know their pain points. And after that, another thing we're expecting you to do is you will always get to explain your results, your user research results to both your internal and external stakeholders. So we have internal stakeholders in the development process, the people that they have say in everything you're doing. And we also have the external people. These external stakeholders can be people that are indirectly connected to what you're doing. They can also be your users. Stakeholders can also be your user. They can also be key people in a strategic position that probably have say in what you're doing. And then the next thing is you get to develop personas and user stories. We'll get to look at all of those things in subsequent class. We'll get to look at them in depth. But when we talk about persona, what should come to your head? Just picture a person and a persona that you're trying to now do like a virtual or a visual representation of your target audience. So it's not real. Sometimes it gets to be fake. You use fake what's it called? You use fake information to just target your users. You'd see something like Boma is a 23 years old person and she's a product designer. She gets to do this. What does she want? So the key things you're always looking at for a user persona, you're trying to look at their pain points, their goals, and then their demography, and probably what you're trying. So it's just you trying to build a human. So just the way we say it, I've forgotten the word that we use. We have specs in our head. We all have our ideal man. We all have our ideal spec, our ideal lead, right? These things in our head. We say, I want this person. I want this man to be tall, to be rich, to be handsome, to be all of these things at the same time, right? This is what some of us we carry in our head, and we are gradually, with what we can see, we are gradually building our ideal person. So in product design, that's one of the things we do. We build our ideal customer in with through user persona. So that user persona, we get to say, okay, with our user persona, we get to say this is our ideal our target audience, or these are our target customer. This is the people we want to target. So you can use one person to target so many persons. So when we are drawing our spec as humans, right, we don't have a particular person in mind. We just draw it so that if we meet this kind of person, we know that yes, okay, we've met the spec that we need. Then when you talk about user story, this is just what we do, part of the things we do to be able to understand our user as well, by telling the story the way they will tell it. You know that if someone should tell you a gist, and although some people have that, what should I call it, that gift of saying exactly what you said. But if I tell somebody a gist and I want the person to reiterate on the gist or to tell me what I said, the person would not use the exact words. The person would have to see it like that. But in user story, we're trying to tell the story in the user's how the user will say it. And then another thing we do is you get to conduct usability testing. Now, what is usability testing? When we get to the design thinking process, right, we'll get to understand that the design thinking process is an approach that we use to solve problem. Now, in this design thinking process, one of it is testing. Now, what we do with testing is the solution that we've built for our users, we'll now get to send it to them for them to test before we pass it on to, before it is approved, and we pass it up to the developer to now do the work. The developers, they also do their testing, but in UI, we also do our testing. We test usability. We test if this thing is usable, if they can use it, if it's up to standard, if it matches, or if it's solving their problem or not. And then you also get to do storyboard, site maps, user flow. Now for storyboard is more like you trying to create a story around what you're doing. So if you're familiar with film production, right, you notice that when a story, before the producer or the person that wants to tell the story, the storyteller gives it to let's say a script writer to write, he already has the story in his head. He already has pictures. Sometimes you see them draw on board. You see them sketch on board. You sketch a human and say, this is point A. This person moves from point A to point B. So that is like you trying to now draw a story, write a story around how you want it to be. So it can be like you're trying to do something for me, and you now try to write a story in your head, or create a story in your head around my work routine. What I do when I wake up in the morning, and after I wake up in the morning, what do I do next? What do I do next? You're trying to now create a story around my day-to-day life so that you know how the solution will fit, right? And then we have wireframes. Wireframes are actually, now you're trying to all the while you're doing this. When we get there, it's going to be clearer. So even if it's not clear now, just forgive me if it's not clear, but it will be clearer with time. So when you're done with all of this process, from the start of every design process, right, you're not doing any sketching, you're not drawing, you're not trying to show us. What you're doing is you're trying to understand and how you can solve it. So when we talk about wireframe, this is the point where you're now trying to now create a visual representation of what you've been explaining or what you've been doing so far, your research. Just the way in our undergraduate project, right? When doing our undergraduate project in research, you get to do the writing first of all. You write from chapter 1, chapter 2, you get to look at people that have done it before, literature review and all of that. When you get to chapter 3, you're not thinking of the method you used to solve it. I think it's from chapter 4 that you now start even doing using the field work, what you've done, to now start showing working. So that's when you're showing working, right? So that's it. And then you create sitemap. Sitemap and user flow, almost the same. The only difference is one is more complex than the other. When we get there, right? I don't want to load you with all of this information now. Like I said, we're going to take it bit by bit, step by step, so that you understand all of this process and get it. So that's basically what we're expecting for UI from a UX designer. Now, one of the things we are also always going to hear is so one question that would help you as a UX designer is always asking yourself, what next? So what next? What are we doing next? When the user should come and buy something from your restaurant or your supermarket, picks up the product, what should you do next? You pack it in the bag, right? When they pay, what should you do next? You give them their receipt and you tell them thank you. So all of this, what next will help you, should I say, understand what you need to put in between to help your experience, to help your users to get good experience. So now we are done with that. Let's look at the key component of UX. Now, the key component of UX, one is research and analysis. From what we've spoken so far, I hope it's clear that you'd always get to do research. And then we have information architecture that has to do with the structure of what you want to do, all the content, what you want to build, how you're going to structure it. And then we have content strategy, right? Now, for content strategy, it's the kind of content you would use and all of that. And then we have wireframing, we have prototyping, we have usability testing, accessibility, and then the visual design. These are the key components of everything we do. This is just like the map of what we do to come up with a very good project. So we've talked about this, so we don't need to go back into to talk about it. So before then, let's go back and talk about what a UI designer is. So is there any question so far? Are we following? See, if there's any question, you can call my attention to it at any point in time, right? Are we following? I think new persons just joined us.
I'm following.
Okay.
Yes,
All
we are
right.
following.
All right. So in case you're not following at any point, call my attention. That's why we are here. I'm not supposed to do the talking alone. So who is a UI designer? We already know UI designer is someone that creates all the screen that the user will interact with or will navigate while using your website, app, or video games. Now note that any of your products, as far as it has a physical, it has an appearance, that's what that's your work. You're in charge of creating all of these screens. So what are the things that you work closely with UX designers to be able to do all of this? What are the things we're expecting you to do? We're expecting you to create a style guide. If you're a graphic designer, you already know that before you start designing, you think about the colors you use, you think about the typography, you think about the spacing, you think about all of these things, how you want it to be. So that's also the work of a UI designer. Now, the truth is, as most graphics designers actually do well as product designers, in the sense that if you look at most graphic designers, their UI, as far as you're a graphic designer, your UI will be fine. Because color, you already know colors from graphic design. You already know how to use typography. You already know what consistency is in the design process. You already know all of these things. So what you are doing is just that the style is different. The artboard you use for UI is different from what you use for graphics normally. If you're doing social media posts, you use, I think, 1024 by something like that, right? You already know how to do it. But when it comes to UI, you're talking about frames. You're looking at phone frames. You're looking at website frames and all of that, but you already understand how to do it. So as a UI designer, you're enforced, or you create style guides. That's a visual language of how you want it to be. And then you're concerned with designing every screen that your users will interact with. You are concerned with the layout, you're concerned with the elements you get to put and all of that. And then you're also concerned with designing the interactiveness of these screens. So if I click on this button, if you open any mobile app, you see that it's interactive. Once you click on sign up, it takes you to the next screen. Once you, if it has to add to cart, it immediately leaves the place and it will jump to the cart in all of those things. And then you're also creating animations. So these are your work, you create animation. Then you're also ensuring that this layout will work across all board. So when we mean across all board, when you put it on mobile app and when you put it on website, what does it do? So I'll give us 1 minute to look at this picture. Just look at this picture and try to create and try to okay, just look at it for 1 minute. I'll need at least 2 persons to tell me, looking at this, what does it tell you? Looking at this picture, how does it help for you to understand UI and UX? How does it help in the difference? Or what can you point out from the picture? Let's just use the word point out. What can you point out from the picture? What can you notice that you feel like is the difference between the two brains that you have there? So let's use, it's 1 minute too much, we can just use 30 seconds. So I just want everybody to just focus on the picture. And so if you've gotten something from it, you can just unmute and tell us what you can notice. So I say I need 2 persons, so anybody can do it.
So the picture is just depicting the little differences between UX and UI. So under UI, it has to do with visual design, which you use color, whereby you use color and you use other type of what's it called, tools. While under the UX, it has to do with application of knowledge to what you are trying to design. So that's just what I can just.
Yeah. So that's it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think the US part is talking about how to apply the program, what we are going to do, and the UI is talking about the pictorial experience, how you see it.
Yeah. So so you can see that's it. While one, you can see the difference that one is not colored. There's no color. You're not thinking of how fine it is. One is just like the basic. If you're building a house, one can be said to be the foundation of the house, and the other one can be said to be the finishing of the house. So when you, I've seen people stay in, when you look at uncompleted building, most times you won't even know the beauty of that house until you now start putting your ceiling, POP, screening it, painting it, and then you will not see the beauty of this house. I don't know if you've seen that video that as you're entering the house, it's a third guy, right? This I think he code, but it's like all of this face me, I face you compound where if as a human, right, as a girl, if you are invited to that place for the first time, you'll be which kind of place is this? But immediately you open the door and entered inside. If you see inside of the house, you'd 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 want to stay there because virtually everything was in that house. Games, chairs, but it's like this face me, I face you wood kind of. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's just it. If you're able to, that's just the simplest way to understand UI UX. So that's it, and that's the difference. Now we now come to what we are doing in this class. That is the product designer I know that some of you already have questions. So what's now the difference between a UI UX person and a product designer? So you can see that you can break it down. You can decide to be a UX person and decide to be a UI person. Some jobs will tell you we are looking for a UX designer. So we'll tell you we are looking for a visual UI designer. So we'll tell you we are looking for a UI UX designer. When they say they are looking for a UI UX designer, they need it to. And some will tell you we are looking for a product designer. So from when you see all of these job this thing, so let's when you see all of these jobs post and all of that, it should just tell you that there is a difference. There's always a difference in this. So who is now a product designer? A product designer is someone that is concerned, that is in charge of the product user experience, the direction, the management. Okay, no, you take management from, you take what's it called, direction from the product manager. But the only difference, right, between a UI UX designer and a product designer is the product designer does the job of a UI person, it does the job of a UX person, and then is concerned about the business goals and objective. So it's like a broad word for a designer. Now you're involved in the development of the product from start to finish. You're also concerned about the business goal. So what you are at this point is you are like the middleman. You're standing between the business, you're standing between the user, and you're standing between the business and the user, right? That's your work. You are in the middle. You're concerned about your users at the same time you're concerned. You always need to ensure that you create a balance between these two. Unlike a UI person can be contacted to just design. He's not concerned about how the business will make money, how the business will do it. He's not concerned with all of that. His work is just to design and give it to you. Every other thing should be your own problem. Same thing as a UX person. A UX person can just come and just think about the users. Think of the users. And then when you now talk with a product designer comes to think about the product from start to finish. You're thinking about the user experience, you're thinking about the interface, you're thinking about the business, decisions that you make that would also help the business and all of that. So in other words, you're a full stack designer. Just where we have full stack developers. For a full stack developer, you're in charge of you're looking at the front end, you're looking at the back end. You do both front end and back end. So that means you can build a product from start to finish. You can link the API, you can do the front end, then put in the API and all of that. That's your work. So when you talk about a product designer is a full stack designer. You do the UI, you do the UX, and then you're also concerned about the business. Now, what's it called? A product manager, right? Most times is there. Now, sometimes when a product manager is not there, you can do part of the product manager's work, but you can't do the entire work. Because one of the things about product management, just like the name management, the product manager, aside looking at setting the pace for the products, like the vision, the mission, all of those things. You're not setting the mission, the vision, the prioritization, what are we going to do first? Those ones are not really your thing. And another thing the product manager does is they get to manage the entire process. That's why you see the whole stand up every day to tell you where are we at, where are we moving to. They already have a timeline. The product manager, product managers always have a timeline that they want this project to be on, based on what they've seen so far, or based on their expertise. They know that this should take 2 weeks, or they should take 3 weeks, and they take it based on what should per time. Now they have their own role to play, but you're involved with the product itself, how it is helping even the business and all of that. So from this picture now, you can see that we have, for a product designer, you have the surface, that's the planning and all of that. Then you have and also the visual element, the visual design. You have the skeleton. That's the interface, the interaction, and all of that. You also have the structure. the information architecture, the user flow, all those basic plan, all those structure you put in place, and then you have the scope, the functionality, the contents, that you're going to use and all of that. You know that we have UX writer. So as a product designer too, you can do the writing. And then we have a strategy that the business goals and the users need. That is what makes you a product designer. And in this class, we're doing product design. So you'll be thinking of products. That's why you have capstone. You'll be thinking of products yourself, and you'll be thinking of how to handle that product from start to finish. So now that, remember that is there any question? Any question? Should I have question at this point? But if you don't have, we can continue.
Yeah.
You don't have or you have? Okay.
Hello, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I have.
Okay.
In what sector do you believe yes. What sector can a UI and a UX design work?
What sector?
Can you hear me?
Okay,
Please?
you're asking what you said, what
Yes.
sector
In what
can
sector
UI UX
exactly?
design?
Or is it in every facet?
Okay, so actually that's
Yes,
even
of
the
course.
next thing I was coming to. Your question is the next thing I want to talk about.
Oh.
Okay, so now
Okay.
why should you be a product designer? That's the next thing I want to talk about. Yeah. All right, so I can see that Aisha said we are trying to take everything in, still taking it in. All right, so let's do a 1 minute pause. Think. Let's just do a 1 minute pause. Think of everything you've heard so far. Take it in before we move on. So a 1 minute silence. Okay, be like our 1 minute is over. Okay, all right, guys. Okay, so why should you be a product designer? I know that I asked this question when we started. Why are you doing this? And all of your reasons valid. Now, this is my own reason why you should become one. It's a collaborative field. You would always get to interact with different people. So the field of psychology, design, business, technology, all. So it's like all in one. You work with different teams. So if you're this kind of person that likes working with people, you're in the right field. Even if you don't like working with people too, you're also in the right field because it offers the best in terms of teamwork. You work with graphic designers sometimes because you're a product designer. You work with graphic designers to be able to also pass out good information. You work with, because sometimes graphic designers want to show the product and they will need you to be able to show that product. You also work with marketers in the sense that you can decide that the product is live and then you want to take in, what is it called? Yes, you get the recordings, Abiodun. So you can decide to work with marketers. You've seen that most times banks, aside banks, right? If you're using any platform, any mobile app, you notice that sometimes they send you surveys to fill to tell you how can we serve you better in emails. Now, sending that email is a work of digital marketers, but then they also need your, because you're the one that will now take the data to analyze. Sometimes they actually put questions around if the products that you've been using, if you're okay with it and all of that. So you can work on different opportunities. You can work on it alone and then you can work with different people. So if you like teamwork, you're in the best place. Then in terms of employment security, right? It's also a smart choice because they pay product designers well. You get to the money is there, but you know that the money, right? For you to get the money, you need to be good. You can't start today. You can't finish 4 weeks and the next week you're earning. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible because I know someone that is a dev guy that he had to shut down to learn for 6 months consistently. And after that 6 months, he got a job on LinkedIn and the job pays him well. Like in a space of 3 months into that job, 3 months into that job, you could afford going on vacations to different countries. He got himself a car, he got himself a good apartment and all of that. So the work, the money is there. It's just how serious or how do you want this money? So if you go on job, so I'm also going to give you as a tax, right? So that's also going to motivate you to take it very serious. Now the tax is go on all these job boards, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and search for the average salary that a UX person earns. That's the average UI designer. This one is not the senior. How much as an average person? How much do you earn in dollar? Please don't look at Naira. If you look at Naira, you'll be discouraged because you can see job of UI UX 75,000, 100,000. But for you to be motivated, right, look at dollar. Look at it in dollar and all of that. And then to answer your question, Lawa, you could work in a variety of industries, enterprise, anywhere. If you are, let's say, if you are this church person, you can decide that, okay, I don't want to work for any company. I just want to work in church. You can work as a UI designer in church. And if your church is, if you're working in a church that they pay you, fine. If you decide to say, oh, I'm a Muslim, I don't want to interact with any other religion, I don't want to do this, I just want to work in the mosque. You can also work, you can also use your skill and work in a mosque. If you're a traditionalist, you can decide to build an app for native doctors that people who can just it's like my network don't want me to talk about about what I want to talk about. All right, please, you have to do it again.
All right, man. All right, man.
But you shouldn't have talked about the traditional
Wonder.
aspect, you know.
You see now, my network say no, don't go there. So let's just stick to where you want me to stick to.
Yes.
All right, so but then you get the gist, right? You can work
Yes.
anywhere.
Exactly.
You can
Exactly.
decide to work anywhere. You can decide to work in schools. You can decide to work in NGOs. You can decide to work. I know someone that is working for a health tech NGO, non-governmental organization, as a UI UX person. So any industry you can think of, you can work there. You can decide to also be your own boss by freelancing. So it's
Excuse
a
me, ma.
variety of industry anywhere.
Hello, ma.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so which of these, you're talking about working probably on your own or working for an industry. So which of these do you think it's more preferable?
Okay.
Like when
So
it comes to the
for
money
me,
aspect?
yeah. So for me, right, I've worked full time and I'm no longer working full time. Now, the truth is, if you work as there's pros and there's cons on all of this. So let me just give you the pros and the cons. Now, working full time, right, you know that bad as a bad, every month you get money. You would get money. It can be limiting, right? You can just have your salary can be 300,000, but you know that every month, if you like, let the economy tumble. As long as you're working for a good company, they'll pay you 300,000 now. And they'll pay you every month, and you don't need to bother about all of that. Now, the that's the pro. The con of it is that you might be restricted, especially if you're in 9 to 5. Now, the reason why I can comfortably teach this, while I was working, I was still able to teach it, but sometimes I'll be distracted. You see, I'm teaching and I'm like, please give me 5 minutes. I'm attending to another thing. Or then I would have to do all my work in the night so that in the morning I can have time to teach till 1 p.m. It's limited. You can't decide to stand up and go anywhere, especially when you have I was working full time, like going to the office. That's hybrid. I was going to the office and I was limited because I can't leave Lagos. I'm currently in Lagos. I can't leave Lagos to go to, and my family, they are in Port Harcourt. I can't leave Lagos to go to Port Harcourt because I know that the next day I have to go to work, or the next week I have to go to work. So even if, except I want to be doing short trips, weekend, I go on Friday, come back on Monday, it's not productive, right? So all of those things are disadvantages. But then when you talk about freelancing, you get more money in freelancing because you can take 5 jobs at the same time as far as you can handle it. You can take different projects at the same time if you can handle it and give them timelines. But 9 to 5, you might not, because 9 to 5, you have things that you're doing at every point. And you can't use office resources and be doing another work. And so that means you have to work longer and all of that. But freelancing, I can decide today and say, oh, I'm tired of Lagos. I want to go to Port Harcourt and stay for 2 weeks or 1 month. I'll pack my bags, go to Port Harcourt, stay for 1 month. I would still be able to do my job there. Nobody needs my attention in the office. But the disadvantage is, that's why you see that freelancers, they charge more. Because as a freelancer, if I'm charging you, I'm thinking about the next 1 month that I will not have a job. The next 2 months, I will not have a job. Why you charge more? There's sometimes for 6 months stretch, you might not have anything. So how do you survive that period? Except for people that are very active on what's it called? On Upwork, and they get gigs daily. Depending on how you want to do your freelancing. Like for me, what I do most times is I take contracts. I take 3 months contracts. I take 5 months contracts, 2 months contracts, 1 month contracts. So I know that as I am doing that one, and these contracts, I just need to do what I want to do part-time. So I know that for the next 3 months, before this one is finishing, I'm looking for the next 3 months contract. So every quarter, there's something that is bringing in money for that whole month. So freelancing pays more, but sometimes you might not get gigs. Unlike full-time work, where if there's no work to do, even if it's button that you design for the whole month, they'll still pay you for that button that you designed. So
okay, please, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, as an intern, you are just coming to the field.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer to work in a company in the sense that you have more experience without looking at the money, because it is when you have the experience, you have what it takes, you have the pressure, you know what it takes. That's when you can now decide, okay, I think I'll be able to gather enough experience for me to stand there. But someone like me, which is just coming into the system, or to some of us who don't have the idea or what UI UX product design is all about. My advice is that maybe if you get any job, an internship, you should just stay, work with it for 1 year or 2 years, build the confidence, build the systems, and before you now consider working to be a self-employed, because self-employed sometimes is not that easy as people think as it is. So that's what I would just say. Thank you.
Olawale, true. So my backstory, right? When I started, like I told you, I learned for 2 weeks. It was a 6 weeks boot camp, but they taught product graphic design for the first 3 weeks, or the first 4 weeks. It was the last week they taught product design. Now, if there's anything I did for myself that is the best decision I did for myself, was going into an unpaid internship for almost, I think, a year plus. I was doing unpaid internship. They were not paying me money. The place was far from my house. I was going there. So it got to a point that they started giving me 3,000 naira per week to help in my transportation. Because my transport,
Seriously?
my transport was like
3,000.
yeah.
3,000.
Did you just say
Yeah.
3,000?
3,000 naira per
That's
week.
serious.
Honestly.
Now, that was for my transport, because it was not even helping me in feeding. My house to that place was like 700 naira. And just imagine in a week, 700 times 5 or 700 times 3, depending on how I go that week. There sometimes they will just say, but I just work from home. But then I don't have lights in my house, so I would always go. I did that for 1 month, for 1 year, sorry, for 1 full year. And that was like the best decision. I was doing projects back to back. That helps my portfolio, like back to back. Today, my boss will come and say, we have this project. that we want to build this platform for so this day. Sometimes they did not send us so, like, because we are in a place where we need to show that we are working. We can just decide to take a government website and redesign it so that we will go and pitch it to them. And they will tell me, Boma, you have 2 days, you have 3 days to work on this thing. As a newbie that I've learned for just 2 weeks. But the good thing is I had somebody, there was somebody that knows, but the guy had to move from product design to, what's it called, to mobile app development. But he was there mentoring me. So he would come and say, Boma, this thing is not good, do it here. For 1 year of my life, 1 year plus, because I did that from after COVID till October 2020. When I came to Lagos, October 2021. So I think from 2020 October to 2021 October, that was when I was working there. And it was the best decision. So what Olawale said, it's actually what should be done. As people just starting out, right? You don't need to think about the money. With time, the money will pay off. When I came to Lagos, I did not even start product design work. I started another work. But while I was doing that other work I was doing, I got recommendation for product design. That's how I now switch. Now, most of the things I get, most of my freelancing, I'm not on Upwork, and I'm not on Fiverr, all of that. But most of the job I get, another thing you need to note is the character that you use when working, your work technique. For some person it is 3 months. Now, the economy now is somehow that you need to learn, you need to shorten it. If you can learn in 3 months, we could learn in 3 months and start earning money. But money should not be, why money is your motivation, it should not be what you should put in your head now. So the character, so your character matters. Most of the job I've gotten so far, they are all referrals. People refer me. I'm looking for a product designer, meet Boma. So also going, Lawa, also going with the mindset that you're doing for the longer time and not the shorter time. If I decide to go to Port Harcourt today and say I want to go and work with the company that I did internship for, they'll still take me in. All right, Lawa. Okay, Lawa is not saying anything.
Hello, it's the network. It's the network. I'm with you.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Lawa.
Yeah. So my question is just that is what's it called? Is online internship the best, or someone should just have a recommendation by a company which you can just do an internship with? Because I know internship help a lot, especially when you just gather this experience. So I need a kind of advice on that, please.
So the truth is, for you to get all of these skills I'm talking about, you need to work full time, like in a company, in a physical environment. So some people would not know. Now I don't work full time, but one thing I know is that full time will help you to be it will give you some skills that you will not even think that it's helping you to. You'll be disciplined. Because you know that if you're going to the office 9 to 5, you need to leave home earlier. So it will help you wake up early. It will help you to be able to manage your time too. So full time most times is the best, because it will teach you even how to dress. Because that internship for some people is the only time they will even get to experience full-time work. Because now the work system is changing, right? Because of COVID, we had to change the way we work. Where now you can see some people are working for companies, but they are working from their house, which is not bad. But if you want to learn some certain skills, it's advisable that you look for physical workplace, even if it's once or twice a week that you'll be going to the office, just so that you can learn different skills that ordinarily staying alone, you won't be able to learn it. Yes, it will also expose
Thank you
you.
thank you very much. Please, do you have any of these what's it called, company that you can just recommend maybe after the course, or we can get a placement where we can do the internship so that at least we can be able to apply what we have?
Okay, so one of the things we do, right, also is the fact that we are together. Like I said, we are family. Some of the things I do is I also get to post. There's someone that did the last quote that already has a place that is intending with, and that's because once I see, I post it and then you apply. But that's not also okay. So that would also not be possible if you're not serious yourself. You have to be extremely serious so that I know that if I am recommending you or if I'm recommending you to all of these people that I know, these companies, is that you're going there and you're going to represent the company at large, Access Bank, Next Factory, and you're not going to spoil. So like I said, relationship. If I put in somebody in your company and the person misbehave, next time if I want to refer somebody to you, you will not collect. So that's another thing. You need to also
Yes, of
work
course.
for it. You need to show portfolio. So for any tax that will be given, you need to do it. See, truth is, from the last cohort, right, we met some students that excuse is very easy. We can all give excuse. Light is no one major excuse. Time is another excuse not to do it. But I think one of the things I'll beg from this cohort is that seriousness. If you're serious, right, you know. So a story from someone that did DIGIGAP 2.0. So, I said there is capstone. At the end of the day, you would get to team up together within yourself and come up with ideas and work on that ideas and design it. So, this particular girl took it serious. Like she took it serious, and even after the project, we did not really keep up with each other. So I did not know what was happening. You know that girl used that project to win a grant in one of these speech competitions. That particular project, she used it to win a grant, and now they are still taking it up. So it's even beyond the getting a job. Some people would form companies from here. The name of this thing is Eco Collect. So if you check online, you might see it, Eco Collect, that helps recycle bins to get waste. They are helping in waste management. That's the project. And she has used it to win grants. So it's even beyond job. Some of you will not get job here, but you would get partnership. You would get team members that you start the company with. That's the goal. So if it work, even the organizers, they do send some internship to the group. You see, as far as you're on the group, with time you start to see through. I've not even seen the group. I'm not in the group yet. But once I join the group, with time you see there's a UI UX designer role. Apply if you are qualified. If you need it, apply. So when that time comes, you get them.
Okay, thank you very much.
All
I
right,
really get it.
Bada, you want to ask question? Okay, so Bada, you're not asking any question.
So it was my network. Yeah, the question I wanted to ask, he asked some of the questions already.
Oh,
He has
okay.
asked some of the questions about internship because I am somebody that, though I graduated from 2019, so since then it's been hard to get a job. Now I got a teaching job that is not paying much, so I had to abandon the job just to focus on this. So my level at which I want to know this is very high, but I am, according to what he said, I am looking at what are the chances after the program. Is there something that is there something that after this thing we can just connect to the company, and even though they are not paying or they are paying a stipend like few amount that can let us grow very well? That's the
Okay.
question.
Yeah, so you'd see them. Some people get as high as 50K per month. Some people get um some people get as high as 50K per month. Some people would get more than 50K. Some people would get, so you the truth is you would get something, right? You would get, but it's dependent on you. There are job boards. Once you're serious and you start going to those job boards, you would get to see all of that. Sorry guys, just give me
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Just give me like
Yeah, I
minutes.
posted. Hello, I
Yeah, I
posted
can
something
hear
on the
you.
chat. So I said I
You
posted
posted.
something on the chat. So based on material, yeah. So not
Okay, yes, you get this thing.
okay.
So just give me like 1 minute, so let me fix something. Yeah, sure, you can.
Okay, I said that actually said some challenges that in newcomers, I mean, newcomers, people that have not find out fit.
Sorry, yeah, I can't. You're breaking. Can anybody hear him?
No,
His
no,
network is
no.
Not
breaking.
really. Not network is good. So maybe you should just type it on the chat so that everyone can see it and you two can be able to understand what.
Yeah, please type it on the chat. All right, so I can see the. All right, so let's continue while I'm waiting for his question. All right, so that's it. Now the last one, another thing is you need to know about this product design work is that it has future. When I mean it has future, is you would not be scared of AI taking your job. We've been hearing AI will take your work, AI will take your work, AI will take your work, and all of that. But just know that you are in a place where AI has nothing to do on you, because who will even build the AI product? Who will design this AI product? Is it not you? It's still you that design it. Now note that you're a problem solver. And one thing is the world will always need problem solvers, like always. You would always be in demand. People would always need you and all of that. So next is the skills that you need to have as a product designer. So let me go to this one to see if there's something I'm missing out that I've not talked about. Okay, this is the full designer, right? You have front end, back end. Now, what you need to note is, okay, you can also see the salary. We've talked about all of this here. We've talked all of this here, but these are also platforms I would want you to follow that is going to help you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'll just be posting them on the chat. So so just give me to copy link address and to post the link. So these are places that you would learn about. It's going to help you, right, to learn about UI UX.
Well,
2 years, 40 years, and this is 25. Okay, so I'm sending all of it, right? So just one person should just help us copy it and maybe put it on your group chat so that it will be there. So all these are places that you would read about UI UX. It's going to help you a lot. When I mean a lot, there are also different resources I would send. This is just the one. So I'll just give let me just give us The person that is helping us to copy it, just take your time and copy it.
Oh.
It has been sent.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so now that we have this, let's now go to the skill that I want you to do. So we have we're supposed to go on break by 11 o'clock and come back by 11:30 to continue. So let's take this as fast as we can so that by then we'll come back from break, we'll look at other things. So what are the skills that you're expected to have as a designer? Hello? Okay, Lawa, your hand is up. Toby, your hand is up. Bada, Toby. Is it a question or it was before?
It was before.
Oh.
It was before, not now. Yeah.
All right, so what are the skills you're expected to have as a UI designer or as a product designer? One is communication. So you know that you're always communicating with different people. You're always trying to describe project requirements. You're always trying to write out the company. You're always trying to know the company goals, the work methodology, product vision, and all other details, right? That's your job. So it's very important that you need to learn how to communicate. You need to you'll be talking with different people. Now, the last thing you want them to do is okay, so I'm going to send this material after this. I'm going to send it, right? So just chill. When I send it, you see all of those things. So the last thing that you don't want to do is you're trying to work on something complex and somebody is guessing what you said. So you need to always ensure that there's a consistency in your communication. If you say A today, tomorrow should be A, next tomorrow should be A. Even if it's in 2 weeks' time, it's A. People are able to understand what they heard from you weeks ago. So they don't need to always guess, right? So that's one thing you need to know. Now, the next one is self-confidence. You need to have self-confidence. You see, this is our work, right? There's something called imposter syndrome that would always come in. And now, there's sometimes you'll be working and you'll not even get idea. You'll not even get inspiration. There's one of my students that we are friends now, and one of the things she asked me is, how can she get inspiration? She has been on the project for almost 1 week and she has not been getting anything. It's normal. I told her, see, just drop it there, go and watch movie. She said she has been watching movie, she has been doing all of that. I'm like, okay, you know what? Oh yeah, go and sleep on dribble. When I mean go and sleep on dribble is go to Dribble. We have different platforms that we get inspiration from. So I told her, go to Dribble, right? Go and check all of these things. And you get from there, she started working on it. Now, one thing you need to note is you need to have confidence. When I mean confidence, right? Sometimes somebody would even tell you, have you seen a situation where this thing is not fine and you start feeling bad. But if you have self-confidence, whether they tell you it's not bad, fine, you have to go back. Because in UI, we believe that one, your design, it will not even be fine at first. So you can always, that's why we have what we call iteration. We get to always iterate on it till we get it. So don't get carried away by people's comment or criticism. Always believe in yourself. Project yourself out there. The next one is you have to be inquisitive. You need to always ask questions. If you're here and you don't like asking questions, you're doing the wrong thing because in product design, you always ask questions. How do you even conduct research? Shey, you ask question with people. You ask question. So you always get to ask questions. You have to be patient, you have time, you have to be consistent. You never assume a problem. You would always get to ask questions to try to figure it out. You need to always find the problem behind the problem. So now let's take, for instance, right? What are the best questions to always ask? For instance, you can ask, what is the major issue you are attempting to solve? Is this the right problem for you to focus on? You get to ask questions around, is this the right thing for you to do? Is it going to be deserving of your effort? What more problem could you solve? You ask questions like, will this fail if we don't change it? So there are different questions, right, that you can ask yourself, like different questions that you can ask to get it. And then when you have confirmed the question, the problem, you have to now ask, what is the company goals for you to be able to get all of this right. So it's just normal in our real life. If I want to know Aisha, I cannot guess who Aisha is until we start talking. And I start asking her several questions. That's when I would know the Aisha that is in class. Now, the Aisha I know is Aisha that is in product design, but I don't know anything about her. I don't know where she's from, but I can just assume that, okay, because her name is Aisha, she might be from the east or, sorry, I said east, from north or west. So that's the only assumption I can make. Abiodun, I'll say, okay, it's from the west because of the name. But if I don't get to ask you question, I would never get to know about you. So you get to ask questions about what goals are you trying to achieve with this that you're doing. You get to ask who are your stakeholders, what are their thoughts. You get to ask several questions, right? For you to be able to get it. Now, the last one is you have to be expressive about your thought process. So when we mean expressive about your thought process is you need to always express yourself so that people understand what you mean. Now, things that you yourself you should answer, questions that you should answer include, how did you arrive at this conclusion? Could you tell me, why do you think this is the best thing that you want to solve? Have you considered other options? What do you think? Why do you think this is excellent? Is it possible that these options would have implication? And what are the opinions of the users? Now, how did you come up with all of these things? So you should ask yourself these questions to be able to get what you are doing. So always ask questions, right? It is very, very, very important for us as humans, for us to be able to understand what we are doing and where we are going to. So just a mini task for us to do for what we've heard so far. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, yeah, my mic is still working. So just a little task, right, for us to do. I have something on my screen. One is good, one is bad. Now, as humans or as a product designer now, because we are all product designers, why do you think this is good and this is bad? So I just want to see how you can think back, because part of our job is thinking. So anybody, so even if it's just this one, we are able to find out why this is good and this is bad. We are good.
Okay.
The one that is bad, the first picture, I think some of the text there start with small letters, unlike the one that is on the good side, which is a simple space. So, and I think in the text box, I don't know. So my understanding, I feel the number of text in the box is too much. So yeah, I just
Okay.
observation.
All right.
Yeah,
So
my own experience is that the first. Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The first one is very good because it's very small and very simple. While the second one, which is bad, is too big and the words are too much. Yeah. So which is too much. So.
Okay, for me, I would say the color blending for the first one is good. Then the other one, not really there. Then also the frame as well for the good one is quite smaller and it's not covering all the part of the frame, while the other one is quite big.
Okay. So
Okay,
is there another?
can I? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so for the good one, I think there is consistency in the letter, that they used. But then on the bad one, which is on the right hand side, the first one, there is no consistency. It's not properly arranged, So the letters are not properly arranged. That's on that.
Okay,
Oh,
Ma.
okay.
So for
Okay.
me, I feel
Okay.
the talking aside from the color, the bad one is kind of too bulky. So that's just what I have to say, Ma.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want to
okay.
say that. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear
Hello.
you. I can hear you. I can
Okay, I
hear you.
want to
Go.
say that aside from the good one, it has a good sentence case. The font is easy to comprehend. It's not that complex. It's very simple. Then the one below, the good one, it has the headline for create new jobs for users to easily assess what they are actually looking for. So it's actually good in that sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the good one has a straightforward instruction. Everybody can relate to it. Why the bad one has no, I don't think everybody can relate to what's going on in the bad one. I think it's a kind of short code or terminology.
Okay. All right. So hold on,
Okay,
everyone.
I have something to say.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, the good one, look at it. It has the spacing is accurate from the left side. If I look at it very well, they are the same, even the up and down. And the text is centered. That is number one. Then the second one, number one, initiation is start with capital letter. The second one, autonomous start with small letter. You see, the control start with small letter. So to me, I think each letter should start with capital letter. That's number one. And if you are going to do it horizontal, let it be horizontal. It's going to be vertical, let it be vertical. That is the second one. Then the second, so that's the second one from the first one. Then the second one, which is create new job. You can see that the letter also and the spacing, they are accurate. It has a symbol that means you can close it. But the second one here is not like that. It's just let me say a faded background that on which the user have to strain his or her eyes before you know the information they are trying to pass across. So that's it.
Okay. All right. So okay, so that's actually correct. I like the fact that we are all thinking far. We are going far. Like we started thinking about color blending, we started thinking about this and that. Now, one thing you need to just note about this is in UI, in UX, UI, in UI UX, right? While we think about all of these things, there's something that is also very important to us, which is the language that we use. Remember that you're building for users that are in all phases of life. Now, looking at this first one, deploy vehicle. I think we all know what deploy means. Even if you don't know, it's very easy. So if you're in a state of emergency, for instance, and you see these two, while you're trying to understand this thing, maybe you have this button. While you're trying to understand this thing and something is happening, the tool would have even eaten you up before you are able to understand it. But if you're in, let's say, let's use the word in engineering, say for instance, it's in a lock room and you need to click one button for the thing to open. While you're trying to figure out this, you'll be stuck there. But with deploy, you just click on it and you know. So the language is very simple. So when you're trying to build, that's why you see that people use sign up, login. Don't go and find big grammar because you know grammar. No. Or remember that you have people from different phases of life that would use your product. You cannot restrict them. You cannot say, okay, people that are Muslims should not use WhatsApp. People that are Christians should not use WhatsApp. Just traditionalists to use WhatsApp. You'd see that it's not going to work. So know that you're serving a lot of people. Use language that they would understand. That's basically what this is. about. So it's time for our break. We'll go for a break and come back in the next 30 minutes, and then I'll be able to answer any other question that you have and also move to the next things that we have for today. All right, see you guys by when? By 11:30. Please come to class quick.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, ma.
Just start. So is there any question from what we did back before we continue? All right, so there's no question. So we'll just complete this task and we'll now dive into what we have for today. We'll talk about UX laws, right? So after that, we'll meet. We're supposed to be together tomorrow. I don't know the arrangement, but tomorrow we'll now dive deeper into every other thing. All right, so just like we did the first one, can you see my screen yet? Okay, just like we did the first one, right?
Not yet, ma'am. Okay, yes, you can see it now.
Okay, you look at the good and you look at the bad and tell me why you feel this is good and this is bad. So let's go.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Can you?
Yeah. Good morning, I can hear you.
Okay, I think the good and the bad here, it's accessibility to create button. Like if somebody wants to click on create, it is more visible under the aspect of the good, while it looks like words under the aspect of bad.
Okay, yeah, nice. So is there any other person that has another thing to say?
All right. Good morning. From my end, having the old box having a heading makes it understandable for the user to know that okay, this is what this particular aspect is for, and then the fact that it spells out the button for the next step properly makes it better than the bad.
Okay, that's actually also correct. Any other opinion? The interface is friendly on the good and the bad. It is not. Yeah, actually. So for the good, you can see that there's like a heading telling you what you're doing, and then there's also a cancel button so that in case you don't want to create a new job, you can leave because this is a pop-up. And then there's a cancel again, and there's a create, making it very easy, user-friendly, just like you said, and that's it. How about this one, good and bad? Why do you think one is good and why do you think the other is bad?
Okay, ma. So I feel for the bad one, the workload on the bad pop-up is too bulky. So I don't know. And basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so any other opinion?
Okay, I'm still trying to understand why the items were taken off, but I feel like from a customer's point of view, less content works better because a customer can lose patience, seeing a lot of things, and even lose interest also. So the good has fewer words, while the bad has more words.
Okay, yeah. So that's it, right? Customers tend to be impatient at some point, and this is just like repetition. Load and unload. You can easily use a button to a toggle on and off to actually talk about it. For something that is on, what is the next thing off? So a toggle could help that. turn on and turn off same thing, lift, turn on and turn off same thing. So there's no need repeating it. You can just use one action to get that. So that's it. How about this? So think, look at it closely.
All right.
Okay.
From my end, I think that the good spells out the mistake correctly, and it brings it to the section where the mistake is actually being committed. While for the bad, the mistake that is spelled out is not understandable, is not clear enough, and is not at the position where the mistake happened. So that's why I feel the one at the left is good and the one at the right is bad.
Yeah, you're really correct. So the reason why this one is good is the fact that in UI UX, right, it is better to point me to the mistake. So it's just like telling me that I should go to number 5 of a particular street, and there is no what's it called, placard, or there's no numbering tag showing where the number is. So there's no number tag for 1 to 5, and then I'm going to 10 and I'm seeing it. So it's difficult for me to know where exactly is 5. So what this is saying is point to your users where the mistake is and give them an overview of the mistake. You can see that this mistake is that they did not add. But for this one, they are telling you invalid this. Invalid what? What will I do to validate it? So that's it for it. So I think this is okay. This is the second to the last. This is the good one and this is the bad one. So why is this good and why is this bad?
Okay, ma. So I feel login me, sign up, and forget password. They are they are three different things, and they should not be just like the way this bad one is having the same color, the same write up. It should not be this. It should not be like that. So and as you can see, the good one is having a different what was the component? Sorry, how they take the color and self. The good one, yes, the good one is having different whatever it is called. I don't know. Sha different.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
So
Another observation is if you look at the login, you will see that the login, the first one, it has the high emphasis. The next one has the quality, the maybe low or medium emphasis. But the truth is that when you see a login icon, you cannot see a login that will have the same color in maybe I don't know, but in virtually all the logins, either if you want to log in from your app, you will not see a login that will be they will have the same color. I mean the same color, which is the log one is the first one login is blue, sign up blue, forgot password blue. No. But if you look at the second one, this person makes it understand that this login is emphasizing logging in. That's take an action. Then the second one, which is the sign up, is also like an action, but it's not a deep one. That means if you have not signed in, if you have not created an account, then this one is sign up. Then the last one, which is forgot password, is telling you in case you cannot sign in and you have not signed up, or you have forgotten your password, you can click on that one. And this forgot password also is a text button. Is a text button. So to me, I think this second one, which was tick green, is the correct and how it's supposed to a UI a person should be able to design the login interface.
okay, so all right, continue, go on.
For me, I feel the wrong one does not actually show direction. Everything is the same thing. So I don't actually know which one to go to. Let's say I'm not friendly with the site and all. But for the other one, it shows direction. The blue light, I like that, oh, go this way. So that's just it.
All right, so frankly, I'm impressed with what I am hearing here. So there's something we call hierarchy in design. Graphic designers in the house, you can agree with me. There's something we call hierarchy. So the simplest way to explain it is, when they say you can't have two masters in the same project, or you can't have two masters at the same time. Now that's it. You can't have two masters, three masters at the same time. Now, what's this login? From the heading, you know that the master here is login. So the next person that should stand next is login. So having all of them the same color is just like all of them fighting for attention at the same time. And you can't give attention to all of them. So you now have to make the other ones different from, they are all buttons. Once you click on each of them, it will still take you there. But this is just making it more organized and ensuring that they are not, you're not, it's just like pick me, pick me. You know that adverts that they were doing for juice, that all the fruits on the tree were like, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. You can't pick all of them at the same time. So you have to do it badge by badge. So that's it for this. And this is the last one. This is the good and this is the bad. Why is this good? Why is this bad?
Okay, all right. I think the first thing that came to my eyes is the fact that oh, it's gone.
Yeah, no, it's here.
Okay. The contrast, the principle in design, from my knowledge of graphic design, the back, the this window carrying delete account, the old full window, is not contrasting like the good one is contrasting on the background.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
there's
another thing. Okay.
a delete
Sorry,
icon.
okay.
There's a delete icon at the top of the window also, to also show that you are deleting, that you are about to delete something. I think people understand pictures faster than text.
Yeah, oh yeah. So any other opinion?
Yeah, I have an opinion. So I
Okay.
have an So I feel like there are certain colors that are used to represent certain things. So like in the bad one, for the delete account, it uses the color blue, which is usually synonymous with like acceptance or things like that. But the good one uses the color red for a delete account. So when you have like mistakes and things like that, usually the color red, when you have a warning or things like that, usually color red that they use to, tell you these things. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why that one is a good UX, because of the colors used to pass the information. And then also, like you said, the icons and things like the icon placements and things like that are just one of the things that makes it better.
Oh, okay. All right. So now for this, right, there are certain colors. Different colors means different thing in design. When we get to design fully, you get to understand that there are some colors that users would easily know. If I see green, what comes to my mind? Success. If I see red, what comes to my mind? Danger, all of that. Now, for the first one, they are using blue to type delete, which any user, you know that sometimes we can be distracted and we are doing something that we don't know. If I'm pressing my phone at the same time teaching, I don't want to read. Once I see blue, to be like, this is move to the this is like click to the next page. It doesn't come up as delete. But for the one with good UX, it's delete. It's easy. Once you see red, you want to pause to read back. And then it's the information is telling you the exact things you get to delete once you click on delete, unlike this other one that it's like that. So that's it. So everything you guys said, correct. Now, before we move further, is there any question? because we've come to everything. We've come to introduction. We are done with introduction and all of that. So next thing I want us to look at is the UX laws. So you see that I'm not using what's it called? I'm not using okay, let me check. I can see something on the chat. Please, the network has been crazy. Oh, sorry about that. You get the recordings of this class. I can't tell if it's today or you surely get it. So we'll be looking at UX laws, right? Okay, Bada, your hand is up.
Yes, sir. The network has been crazy here. I just joined now. Will there be any recorded version so that we can check later?
Yes, there's always recorded version.
Thank you.
All right, so just give me a few minutes. I want to open another material. So I like using different materials, right? So that what I'm trying to teach us here is there's no one material to use as a designer, right? You don't have one material. You can use different materials as far as you understand what you mean or what it means. Then it's okay. I think I've opened one. Okay, sorry. You see all of these things, right? There are things that we'll get to come across with time. So let's just take it small. I share this thing, okay? All right, so this is what all right, so we'll be looking at UX laws. Oh, sorry. We're looking at UX laws. Now, what are laws? Laws are generally okay, so sorry, I think my network is also disturbing. So what are really laws? Laws are the Bible. They are just like guidelines that you follow part-time. In every profession they have laws. In every profession they have laws, right? As a doctor, there are certain things that you cannot do when you're in your office. As a doctor, one of the law you have to stick with at every point is ensuring that your client's secret is safe with you. That's why you see that some persons they have what's it called? They have sicknesses, but their family members don't know because the doctors is not in the position to come and call you to tell you that this is it. So even in UI and UX, we have laws that governs us. that helps us to do the work we want to do the way we have to do it, so that it should be followed and respected. So the first law we'll talk about is what we call the Higgs law. So the Higgs law, right, it is called the law of minimizing choices. So what does this mean? It means that the more choice a person has, sorry guys. So it means that the more choice or the longer choice that people have, the time they become confused. So just like we showed for this, right? You could see how these laws are coming to play now. For this first one, you can see that this is a very long choice and your users will be confused. So this law states that the longer choice that as a human or as an individual you have, the more you would you become very confused. So this is it here. Who can remember the law? Who can remember what I called it? Because sometimes you get to see the name. Who can remember?
The Higgs law.
Yeah, the Higgs law. So you can see that I'm giving you you can see this link online. So it says the time it takes to make a decision, it increases the number of complexity of choices. So what should you do in cases like this when you are forced, or when you are given a task to do, for instance, and you have different things, just like 36 state and capital. For instance, you want to do states and capital, you know that it's 36, and you see how long it is. What can you do? So things that you can do to help it is, first, you have to minimize the choice when response time are critical. So when I need to make a fast decision, limit the choice. That's why you see that for some search bar, for some, if you need to select country, you see that you can type. Once you type L, they will give you suggestions for Lagos so that you can get it quickly. The second one is you need to break complex tasks into simpler steps so that people can understand it. That's why you need to see sometimes you have step-by-step approach. So these are ways you can solve it. Then you need to avoid overwhelming users by highlighting the recommended options. When you have a form that people need to fill, you have to put the one that is in you have to recommend. So you have to put the ones that is like very important for them to fill, and also highlight what you recommend for them to help them reduce their time. Then you also have to use progressive onboarding to minimize load. So onboarding, instead of putting everything at once, you can just put it step by. That's why you see that most times when you download a new mobile app, you get to see the first screen showing you a picture, and then you see next, and all of that. Now, the thing is, be careful not to simplify to the point of attraction. You're not trying to ensure that this is attracted to them. You're not trying to do all of that. What you're trying to do is to ensure that they are able to solve their issues faster. You can see an example of one of the examples is Google search bar, where you can see a search bar that people can just easily search what they want, so that it's they're not giving you any context. But then once you're typing on Google, right, you'll be getting suggestions on what you want to do and all of that. The next one is Fire TV remote. You can see that there's no plenty button on it, just few. Even my Fire TV in my house is just what's it called, button to stock, menu, live TV, and play, so that you know what to do. Same thing for Slack. There's a progressive onboarding where you can come to Slack and then they can tell you what you can, the things you can do with Slack. You can learn all of that. So instead of dropping users into a fully featured app, you can give them onboarding small using bots and all of that. So that's it for this particular law. It helps people to minimize choices. This is an example where you have plenty things: Twitter, email, phone, Facebook. You see, all of this is too much for one person to feel, right? You can just decide to make it short so that they know what they want at once. Just show necessary option. So the next one is DIGIGAP's law. Now, it is called the Don't Be Too Original law. So what does this law say? Let's go to our online site so that it won't be like so where can we see it? This is Jacob's law. So what is this law telling us? This law is telling us that users spend more time on other people's platform. So they're expecting your platform to actually behave the same way that the other sites that they know is behaving. Now, let me, I want to use something to explain it. So, Abiodun, how many bank apps do you have?
Okay, I have the normal bank, just one. Then the mobile, I have Pampi and OP.
Okay, Pampio and OP. So let's say you have 3 banks. What can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
see? Can you notice any similarity between all of the banks?
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
aside from
this.
color, they operate the same way, right?
Yes.
So that means if tomorrow a new bank is coming and you want to download it, you notice that you not gonna learn how to use the bank. You just download it and you know where to send money without anybody teaching you.
Yes.
So that's what this law is saying. This law is saying that people are already using products that are in the market. And if you're trying to do something that will solve the same issue, it should operate the same way. If you look at Chowdeck, look at Jumia Food, look at Glovo, look at any of this, you'll notice that they have the same. The only thing that differentiates it is maybe the color and the words that they use and maybe what they have. But they operate the same way. If you want to order food, you search for the food that you want to order, then you click on the food, you add to cart, you pay, and it will be delivered to you. Same thing, Bolt, Uber, oh, sorry, Aisha,
This is
sorry.
actually true. Nice one.
So you see, Bolt, Uber, they operate the same way. So what this is telling you is that you cannot be too original. There's nothing you want to build that is not there in the market. There's nothing you want to do. So instead of thinking, how is this going to work? Or what should I do? What should I do? You already have different things that you just need to. You need to be creative, right? Change color, change it. But the whole concept, the whole flow, it's always the same. So that's what this particular law is. And this law is our users that say they want it like that. So the thing is, we all transfer expectation from one familiar product to another because they are similar. If I'm using OP, I just know that if I open PalmPay, it should work the same way. Same thing with any fitness app. If you use fitness app, you see that it's the same thing. They have counter that will count the number of exercise you're doing. So what you need to do is you have to leverage on existing mental models to create superior experience. So what you have to do is look at what is existing and use that one to create something better instead of you trying to go and learn new model. So if I say design Uber app, I'm not expecting you to go and start thinking new flows on how it should be. There's already a flow. So all you need to do is carry that flow and be creative with it and do something better. So that's why you get to look at their weakness and get to look for ways to help their weakness. Sometimes the app can be the same. The only difference is the business model. So if you look at InDrive, right? The only difference between InDrive and Uber, the same thing, just that for this one, the business model is you can price your drivers. So Uber will just give you the price, 1,000 to this. For the other one, they'll show you the possible amount in Drive. In Drive will show you, okay, this place you are going to 5,000 naira is what will take you there. But then you cannot put your amount and say, okay, no, I want to pay 3,000 naira. And if there's a driver that is willing to accept your own offer, the driver will accept, and that's it. That's just the difference between Uber and this. I don't know of Bolt and Uber. I don't really know the difference because I feel like they are all the same. Just that I think if you use Bolt, you get drivers more than when you use Uber. And then when you're making changes, you just need to minimize discord by empowering users to continue with the final and with the popular way. So you just need to do what they do. So now let's take a look at this example. Things like toggle, radio button, and all of that originated from places like this. You can see that they already have these things. The only thing is it's now digital. You can just see you see YouTube redesign. This was the first YouTube that they had. This is the next YouTube. Can you see that it's still the same thing? They just rearrange certain things. So that's what this law is actually telling us. So don't go and so this is this example. Anytime I open this book and I see this example, I normally laugh because we all know as humans that our button is rectangle. Is there anybody that doesn't know that buttons are normally rectangle? So you see people because they are starting product design and they want to be creative. No, this is not even about being creative again, because this is not creativity. You want to invent. You want to be the all those people that used to invent things. Now you know them. I wanted to call one person's name, but I cannot remember the name again. You want to be all of those people that this is my idea, this is my creation. No, you don't do things like that. On no account should you go and do a polygon, or what are you calling it as this? We all know a button to be rectangle, and we all know a form input to be that. So the next one is the fit law. It's called the big touch targets. Called a big touch target. So what this means is bigger buttons with enough space between are easier to access, click, tap all the time than smaller button. You know that we click most times with our thumb. So our target needs to be big enough for them to be able to get it. So let's go to our. So you can get this material online. It's called what's it called? Just type.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you come again with this fit law? I didn't
Okay.
get.
This fit law states that it's like the big touch target. Bigger buttons are actually better than smaller buttons. So let me open Figma, right, and show us one example. I just want to do something around that. So that you get to understand what this law means. So let it open. Okay, what is it? All right, so let me just create a new project. So I'll teach us how to do all of these things. So let me see. DIGIGAP 4.0. So everything this is what I thought I just finished typing it. DigiGap 4.0. Didn't I create it? Okay, I've created the project now. So where are you? Come on. Okay, so it was a mistake. So look at it, it's here. So now I can create a new design file, right? So this is what I want us to use to understand that particular. So all those ones I've been creating, they are all here. I think this is network. This is network and Okay, so you really don't need to download Figma app. You can actually just get it online. But once you go to figma.com, you see where to download it. But I don't think it's important for you to download. Oh God, this thing is actually giving me. Let me use any one. So I'll use any old project that I have here. Okay, let me use it for instance. Oh my. Well, this is network or this is Figma. I don't know which of them. But I think I can just use anything to explain it. So let me use online since Figma doesn't want to open. So let's see bigger and smaller buttons. Guys, can you see hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can hear you.
We can hear you.
Let me know if it's my network, guys. Okay, so something like this now, what that particular law is saying, for instance, if you see this button, let's use this is not entirely the whole this thing, but let's say this button, that's why I wanted to use something small and it's not okay. But what this law means now, okay, you see where this my link is and this my button outline. If you're to select as a user, which button would you prefer? So I'm not talking about color, I'm just talking about size. The one that has my link and the one that has my button outline, which do you think is better?
The rectangle.
My button outline.
Okay, yeah, my button outline. So that's what this law is saying. This law is saying that bigger buttons with enough space are like it's very easy to access them. It's very easy to click all of those things with our finger than smaller buttons. So this law is just saying that your the buttons you're doing should be big enough so that people can get it. So what's the key things that you need to take away from this is your touch target should be large. So what do you mean by touch target? Anything that you want people to click, anything that you want people to tap should be large enough so that they can easily select them. Then your touch target should be placed in areas that allows them to be easily accessible. No, if you carry your phone, right? Have you noticed that on your phone, when you want to sign up for any app or anything, their login button is always down. And the reason is because you hold your phone with like the first four fingers or the first back finger, and then you use your thumb to click. So your thumb cannot go up. Have you discovered that? Just try to hold your phone.
Yes, yes, yes,
You're
yes.
holding your phone. You can't stretch your hand to go up to click on a button up. It's mostly down. So that's why even on mobile app, you see that you always see the home, the market, the other things, for instance, you always see them down. So that's what this law is saying. And then the touch target should have spaces between them. If you open your people that use PalmPay or Kuda, any of those banks, if you open those banks, you will notice that there's space between home, there's space between send, there's ample space between pay, because they know that if you join them together, that your thumb will click the two at the same time. So that's why there is space. So that's what this law is actually saying. So are we clear on this? Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is an example. This is too small. This is our whole finger size. So your button should be able to contain the finger size. So that's one. This will help you to download, or I say download, so this will help you to design better buttons for anything you're doing. So what's the next one is called the almost done. So the reason why I'm using this particular, so I need to close it. Okay, so this is called the goal. The reason why I'm using this particular book, this book is long, but I'm going to share it, right? 150. So the reason I'm using it is because it's giving us simpler words to use, simpler terms. And that's the whole idea. The goal is not to carry big words that you can't cram. There's no need cramming all of these things. You just need to understand how it works. You just need to understand and put it in your head that this is how this works and this is how this works. So this is almost done. So what this law is telling us is, it says the more you feel like a class you're ending a particular task, the faster you'll be to complete it. That's what this law is all about. So that's why it's very important for you to show progress at every point in time. So let's go to this to see what they have. So what this is saying is we are all humans. If for the first 1 week, you would not be feeling anyhow. But when we start getting to the 4th week of the design stage, you just want to finish quick. At that point, or when we start designing, or there's a point we get, you'll be impatient and you want to do something. So what this is saying is the more you know that you're closer to your task, the faster you want to do it. It's just like sending money. The more you know that you want to, the faster you want to do it and get it done. So that's what this law is saying. The closer that users are to completing a task, the faster they work towards reaching it. The second key takeaway you need to do is you need to provide artificial progress for them. So that's why you see most times on forms, you see step 1, step 2. Some people will tell you you're 100%, or you see counter telling you you're 50% done, 30% done, 20% done. That thing is like motivation for you to complete that task. Then you need to provide a clear indication. So that's what this particular law states. Just put progress bar, you see it. This is it. This is a progress bar. For some people, it's 1, 2, some it's 20%, 30%, some it's 40%. You just be seeing it count. So you know that you're almost done. Now, this is best for very long forms. You know that there are some forms that are long, especially if you're trying to register for a bank. A bank will not just ask you your email address and password and create account for you. They can do it, but then you have to fill different things. That's why you now see first step verification, second step, third step. Now the thing is so that you to motivate them to finish part time, so that they know that I'm almost done. Sometimes you are not almost done, but they'll tell you are 50% done when you have plenty. So that's idea. It's psychology, right? As a product designer, you should be a good psychologist. You're trying to study people and play with their emotions so that they will do what you want them to do. So the next one is duality threshold. So what this particular law is saying is that your user should not wait for long for them to be able to access something. So you've noticed that there is a platform, right? Which platform is that? So we all have time waiting. So just the way my Figma was not opening, or my Figma is not opening, it has opened now. But you see that time that I was waiting, some people will make you enjoy it. Now this is the platform. Remember this this thing that I opened? Okay, it's not this, it's this one. Remember this thing that I opened? Can you see? I am waiting, but they are showing me somebody that is working, keeping me engaged. Let's go back to it. Sometimes I enjoy it. So your user should not wait for long. Your response time should actually be short. The user should not wait for the system to respond. When they are waiting, you should keep them engaged so that they won't know that they've waited for long. Because our attention span is actually very low, and sometimes we have low internet, but just keep us waiting. keep us, instead of doing loading, like, can you see an example? So some of the things we do is we use what we call skeleton screen. What is a skeleton screen? This is a skeleton screen. What it does, it shows you where these things would be, but then it's loading, so it shows you. Then another way is doing this, that's, let me close it and open it. Another way, but the whole thing that this law is saying is to keep your users engaged. So even if this is going to take, let's say 20 minutes to load, right? But as I'm seeing the lady walking, I'm believing that it's loading very soon. It will soon be soon. So that's the psychology behind that. So this is trying to tell you that you should provide feedback system within 40 milliseconds in order to keep your users' attention. So if there's an issue, provide that feedback within 400 milliseconds. Then use specific performance to improve time. Then you can use animation to just engage your users. You can use animation to engage them while they are waiting for it. You can also use progress bar for them to use to wait. Some people, you see them counting 1 to 100 or 1 to 10 before it will open. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just know that as they are counting, by the time it gets to 10, it will open. Sometimes network might not permit it, but you still want to come. So you need to ensure that delay process is enjoyable, that they can trust you, it doesn't take much time. Are we together, or it's like I've said a lot?
We're together, man.
Okay. So yeah, so the next one is what we call the reduced complexity, Miller's law. What this is saying is our memory is short, and we have short-term memory. Everybody, including myself, sometimes I forget things a lot. So there's a side number of things that we can actually put in our brain at once. So that's why most times when I teach, I also get to pause and ask, are we together? Let's follow. Because we all like everybody, we all have short-term memories. So anything that will not add to the small space that's in our head. That's why I see some people, you just say that they say some persons are introverts, some persons are sadist and all of that. It's because there are things that they have a lot of things that they want to use that their short memory to do. Adding to it is not what's it called? It's not good. So this law is saying that an average person can keep 7 items at once in his or her head. 7. So that 7 means plus or minus 2. Plus 2, 9, minus 2, 5. This is what we can carry at once. So do not use the magical number 7 to justify unnecessary design limitations. So don't use because we say 7. Some people will go and put, we see have our first example. You can see this is not even up to 7, but it's somehow. Some people have a lot listed at once. If you go to some website, you see home and then you see drop downs. When you click on the drop down, you now see all the other elements that is it inside. So what this is also saying is you need to organize your content into smaller chunks to help your users process, understand, and memorize easily. And then you need to also, so just like this is menu, right? You have a lot of things under the menu. You can easily just list all, but you can easily just start putting, can you see that they would not be able to understand this one time? So you can just help them organize it small, so that they can be able to look at it and know what this is and what is not. So there's a particular website I'm looking for. Okay, so I can get it. So let me just type user. Okay, yeah. This is one of the websites. You'd see that. Oh, I don't know why you're not seeing it, Aisha, but I think my screen is still showing. Now, you see that looking at this particular website, oh, maybe it's network. Looking at this particular website, you can see that these are tabs. But if you check again, they have sub tabs. And yeah, so physical classes resume next week. So they would relate that to you. We're just starting virtually with this. So if you click on drop down, you see that there are so many things in this, but they did not keep it all at once. They just grouped it. So that's what this law is saying. This law is saying that we should always minimize and organize our content so that our users will understand what it means. So the next law is we have the Oscar-Marizol law that states that simple is less. You have to keep only things that are important, that are necessary for your users to complete the text. So one of the ways you can help yourself is if I remove this, will this still work? So that's one question you need to always ask yourself. So let's say, for instance, you're trying to design something and then you're asking yourself, if I remove this button, will it disturb the design? Will it disturb the functionality? If the answer is no, it will not, then you just know that it's not important. So you only need to keep the important things for your users. Anything that is not important, take it away. Just say, for instance, you can see this creation of form, Twitter handle, design level, app that I know. If these things are important, include it. If they are not important, remove it. That's where you see bad, 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 and good, good, good. So you just put the things that you feel like that would help you reduce your form. Some people would create form and you see the form to be very long with things that are not important. Imagine me trying to create bank app. I'm trying to open OP account and they're asking me, do you have children? What does having children have? How is it related? Having children and creating an account. But if I'm registering for like a family app kind of thing that would help me talk to my family, that will help me teach my family. Asking me how many children I have is very important because that's related. So this is saying you should always look for those things that are related to your designs and put them there. That's what this law is saying. Then there is law, the law of aesthetic usability effect. So this law talks about this. This law talks about this. It talks about how fine it is. Truth is, the truth is, we are all attracted to fine people. I don't know of you, but I am. I like fine things, fine products, fine bags, fine anything you can think of. Fine laptop, simple laptop. I don't like anything that is not sleek. So, fine people. That's why you'd see that there's a talk that fine boys are marrying fine girls. Fine things will always attract. If you're fine, you have an advantage already. As a I heard this thing. I heard it. It's not like I heard it. This is what happened. I know they just say it's an advantage. It doesn't mean that come on. It's just an advantage, right? It doesn't mean that there's no hope for us. We all have hope, including me. So, but the truth is, there's one particular saying, and that's that fine girl advantage. That's actually true. That you are a guy, you're pushing something, and then there's a fine girl. There's every tendency that they'll look at the fine girl first before they even think of considering you. That's the norm. So I'm just using this example to tell you that even in the real life, that is how we think. Not to talk about design wise. Fine, as far as it's fine. So this law is trying to tell us that anything you are doing, while you're trying to make the experience better, please let it be fine. Don't go and give us something like this. Some of you are warming up to design something like this for me. Purple with text going out. But then we'll cast and bind that kind of design in this class. We cannot do that type.
Amen.
We only do the fine one. So while we are trying to ensure that everything is usable, right? We should ensure that this is fine. So that's what this law is saying. It's now when we talk about fine, right? We don't like in design, it's not by the plenty things you have, just the way they are, that it is still the best thing, or it is still the truth. It's not the amount of makeup that you put on your face that will make you fine. If you are not fine, you're not fine. So the plenty makeup will not make it fine. So what this is saying is you don't need to scatter plenty things on your design, put plenty color, put different this before it has to be fine. With one color, your design can be fine. I can design with black and white and it will be fine. I don't need to add any other color. It's just how you're able to organize things. It's not the plenty things. So that's why we call it minimalism, minimalistic design. We like minimalistic design that is clear, that is readable, that people can actually understand easily. So with this, you have to think of minor usability issues and all of that. So we have more laws. There are plenty, like, okay, anytime my network want to misbehave, that's how it used to do. We have different laws. We have we've not talked, we've talked about Jacob's law. So we've talked about aesthetic usability. We've talked about this talks about the time, the waiting time. We've talked about fixed law that talks about the target, that's the size of something, the size of button. We talked about goal credence, that you need to ensure that the more you think that you're completing a task, the more you'll be fast to complete it. We've talked about Hicks law, the time it takes to make a decision. We've talked about, okay, we've not talked about common region. We've not talked about law of proximity. So law of common region and law of proximity, they are almost the same. So we tend to say these people are in a group if they share the same boundary. So that's why you see, if you have login here, you will always see log out for most platforms. So this is an example. Once you see login, there's always be a logout, or once you see login, there's always a sign up. Sign up and sign in for almost all platforms, and that's because we perceive that because they are together, they are in a group. So common region creates a clear structure that would help users to understand the relationship between elements. So by the time, people would just automatically group some things, so know what you're keeping close to each other. So like I said, law of common region and law of proximity, they are still the same. People would always objects that are near to each other or close to each other also are always grouped. That's why you see that once two people start staying together, your neighbors will just start assuming that you people are brothers and sisters. I don't know if it has happened to you before. Two persons are staying together. They don't know, they don't even know if these people are friends or if they don't even know themselves. You know that in Lagos currently, you can stay with a stranger as far as people are ready to share your rights together. You can stay with them. But some people will just automatically feel like you both of you are siblings or you are close because you're staying in the same house. So that's the same thing. Proximity would help to establish a relationship with nearby objects. So before you group anything or before you put things close together, ensure that they are related one way or the other. Elements in close proximity are perceived to share the same functionality and trait. So that's why you see sign up, login, they are together. So this is going to help you understand how to organize information and how to do all of that. So that's the law of proximity. And then we have the law of pregnance. So what this law means is that people will perceive and interpret big complex or big image as simple form as possible. So what you need to do is anything you are doing, just tend to know that we'll get to perceive it as simple things. So they'll try to break. Do you see what happened here? This is the first object. If you put this in this, so you see that before you do anything, try to be able to they will try to simplify anything they see to read meaning to it. So what you need to do is, like they say, research has shown that people are better able to visualize process and remember simple figures than complex one. So what this is saying is, anything you're trying to give to your users, it should be simple so that they can understand it very well. Now, I want us to I'll send the link. So what I want you to do for me is get to read about it, get to read about the origin. so that you would understand all of this very well. You might not get it now, you might get the pieces that you can get from the class, but if you go back to read it, you get to understand it well. So is there any other law that I've not talked about? So there's a lot of law. There are a lot. So let's just stop here. Let's stop here for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. So give me a few minutes. Let me get to ask for attendance. So is there any question? Is there anything you'd like me to, that you want to bring to my attention to? Any question regarding this?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I have question.
Okay, so let's take it like this. Ladies before gentlemen. Sorry, but just chill. Just chill.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for the class. It's really an eye-opener, and I think it's getting more interesting. So my question is, you made mention of graphic designing and UX design.
I can't hear you again. I don't know if it's just me.
I can hear as well.
Oh, okay, I think it's
I think it's our
network.
network. Yeah.
Okay, so before she comes back, I think any other.
Sorry, my network is bad.
Yeah, if you go.
Sorry, my network is bad.
Yeah, no problem. You can continue.
Can I still go on? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my question is this, to become a very good UI UX designer, do you need to have a background knowledge of graphics design? That's just my question. Or do you need to be a graphics designer first before being a UI UX designer?
Okay, so now what you need to note is that is like a good to have. You know that we have good to have, nice to have, nice to have, sorry, and we have must have. It is not a must have, but it's good to have. Now, that is because if you're coming into UI UX, they'll still teach you the principles of designs that you need to know. The only thing is you will not get it will not be as broad as it is. So when it comes to graphics and UI has a certain principle that you follow. Just like I would say that you can go and look for an already existing app and follow it. There's a principle on how we design. So it will still teach you the principle in the process. You don't really need to, it's not a must-have skill, but it's a nice to have. At least if you have it, you know that for me, I have done design before. So I already know color combination and all of that. It will be better to understand it when they now start talking about it in UX and UI UX field. But if I'm coming to it for the first time, my first 1 month or my first 2 weeks, I'll still be struggling with how to use colors. I'll still be struggling with typography. I'll still be struggling with all of these things. But for someone that have done it before, it would be like you're just using what you already know to bring here. But the truth is you must not have it, because we are still going to cover the basic principle of designs here. We'll still teach it. So you don't really need it. That should not be an issue. But if you already have the skill, added advantage. If you don't have it, nothing spoil. We still there.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, Yusuf, you want to ask a question?
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
This is Yusuf. For those of us with product management background now, and we are just taking the UI course just to improve our skill set because of the nature of our job. Where do you think we should focus most of our strength on, since we are not really designers, we are just using it like to understand or improve the process of our work as product managers.
Yeah. So I know that the skill set around product management is, yeah, for a product manager, you should have design and product design skill. You should also have digital marketing skill, and then you should also have web development skills, because this is like you would always go in these circles. Now, the thing about product management, and so at some point I was learning product management, and that's because product design, if you're a product designer or a product manager and you know product design, that's a very big advantage. Like, you'll be like is sought after. So you see, when you know that some of your job is to ensure that people are doing their work. At that point, when people are not doing their work, you can easily come in. So what you need is product management. The product is there. Anything product, you know that there will be users. So you need both you need UX just as much as you need UI. Although the UI can be limited, you just need to know the UX, because what you want to do is to build long-lasting products. Because at the end of the day, the company that you're in would hire product designer that would be doing all of those color magic. But like I would always say, there's no knowledge. No knowledge is a waste. So if you can focus on the two, you don't even know where it will push you to. There's a project that there's a company that I was working for. Because I was learning product management small, it actually helps me, because they had to make me the team lead at some point. So imagine working as a team lead. That means you have to be thinking of your job and be thinking of other people's job. But my little background in product management just helped me, boosted me, and that is it. So learn anyone, but I think you need UX more than you need the UI part. Okay, so I can see two questions. The first one is more light on proximity. So for proximity, right? Just take it like this: when two things are close together, we just take them that they are family, they are group. Let me use the word family. So just the way we see, looking at two of these objects, you can say that this one doesn't have color. This one has orange color, deep orange. This ones, they are all white. As a human, you just assume that these ones are in the same family, while these ones are in different family. But look at it close, you see that they are the same size, they are the same shape. But because of this is close to each other and this has the same color, we just group them as family. So what proximity is saying that objects that are near to each other in terms of colors, in terms of position, as figured to be the same. So they feel like they are the same. That's why you always have sign up and login button. They will do almost the same thing, although they have slight difference. But sign up and login, have you noticed that if you click on sign up, the same form that pops in is the same form that will click when you click on login? Same pattern. The only thing is it might be different in the form field. So that's what law of proximity is. Let me be sure I get the next question. Let me see the next question. You made design thinking. Doesn't mean that as a designer you should be able to test. Yes, we have platforms that we use to test. Like we have our own platforms that we use to test. Things like Maze, Usability Hub, Usability. All of these are platforms where you can upload your designs and people will test it. Okay, so the testing that I mean, right, is not this kind of testing. We have product testers. That's their own work where they get to interact. I know of a product tester and QA tester, right? That what she does is she knows code. She can understand code and be able to test and see bugs in code. That's where this different. We can test design. But the truth is, if you start one aspect of test, if you start one aspect of tech, you would be able to just go into, because you would be understanding them small. As a designer, it's also an advantage for you to just quickly go into the next field. All right, just for clarity, and you made mention of the fact that your class will hold consistently for 4 weeks. Do you have other activities after the 4 weeks? Okay, so after the 4 weeks, right, you still have the groups together. We'll get to look for jobs together. We'll get to take on challenges together if there is. and all of that. So the whole goal is not to teach you and abandon you, right? The whole goal is to teach you and ensure that you have a skill that you can use to people sponsoring it. The mindset that they have is you need to be able to skill or upskill so that you can start making money. So we've not actually done our part if we teach and then we just abandon you after 4 weeks. I don't know. I can't communicate the time because me, I'm also just the way you are here to learn. Me, I'm here to teach. I can get some information, but most of the information will come from the host and not me. But just know that on my own part, I'll try everything within my power to send in opportunities, even before we even get to the 4th week and even after the 4th week, so that all of us can get something. Not all of us, right? That's like that's me promising what I can do, but some of us can. And then you can also have, one of the important is you have access to me. So you can ask me questions at any time and all of that. So this is just day one. They will soon add me to the group and maybe give me every other thing I need to do. All right, so please don't leave yet because we need to, what time is the fight? So our time is normally constant. Right? Our time is 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. So even during the physical classes is 9. So please don't leave. There is going to be attendance. So I'm waiting for them to send the attendance so that
Please, ma, I have a question.
Okay, ask your question.
Yeah, please, ma, thank you for this